Deuteronomy Chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant which Jehovah commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant that he made with them at Horeb. And Moses called to all Israel and said to them, You have seen all that Jehovah did before your eyes in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh, to all his servants, and to all his land. The great trials which your eyes have seen, those great signs and wonders. But Jehovah has not given you a heart to understand and eyes to see and ears to hear until this day. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness, your clothing did not wear out from upon you, nor did your sandal wear out from upon your foot. You have not eaten bread, nor have you drunk wine or strong drink, that you might know that I am Jehovah your God. And when you came to this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Er the king of Bashan came out to meet us in battle, and we slew them. And we took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, to the Gadites, and to the half-tribe of the Manassites. Therefore keep the words of this covenant and do them in order that you may prosper in all that you do. You are standing today, all of you, before Jehovah your God, your leaders of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, every man of Israel. Your little ones, your wives, and the sojourner with you, who is in the midst of your camp, from the man who chops your wood to the man who draws your water. In order to enter into a covenant with Jehovah your God and into his oath, which Jehovah your God is making with you today. So that he may establish you today as his people and that he may be your God, even as he has spoken to you and even as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. However, not with you alone do I make this covenant and this oath. But I make it with him who is here today standing with us before Jehovah our God and with him who is not here with us today. For you know that we dwelt in the land of Egypt and that we passed through the midst of the nations whom you passed through. And you saw their detestable images and their idols, mere wood and stone, silver and gold, which were with them. Beware that there is not among you any man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turns away, even today, from Jehovah our God, to go and serve the gods of those nations, that there is not among you a root bearing poisonous fruit and wormwood. And that when he hears the words of this oath, he blesses himself in his heart, saying, I will have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, to the ruin of the moist with the dry. Jehovah will not be willing to pardon him, but rather the anger of Jehovah and his jealousy will fume against that man, and all the oath that is written in this book will settle on him, and Jehovah will blot out his name from under heaven. And Jehovah will separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel according to all the oaths of the covenant written in this book of the law. And the following generation, your children who will rise up after you and the foreigner who will come from a distant land, will say, when they see the plagues of that land and its diseases with which Jehovah has made it sick. And that all its land is sulfur and salt, a burning waste, that it is not sown, nor does it sprout, nor does any vegetation come up in it, that it is like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which Jehovah overthrew in his anger and burning wrath. Indeed, all the nations will say, Why has Jehovah done this to this land? Why the burning of this great anger? And they will say, It is because they forsook the covenant of Jehovah, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out from the land of Egypt. And they went and served other gods and bowed down to them, gods whom they had not known and he had not allotted to them. And the anger of Jehovah burned against this land, bringing upon it all the curses written in this book. And Jehovah plucked them off their land in anger and in burning wrath and in great indignation, and sent them to another land, as they are this day. The things that are hidden belong to Jehovah our God, but the things that are revealed, to us and our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Deuteronomy Chapter 30. And when all these things come upon you, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before you, and you bring them to heart while among the nations to whom Jehovah your God will drive you, and you and your children return to Jehovah your God and listen to his voice, according to all that I am commanding you today, with all your heart and with all your soul, then Jehovah your God will turn your captivity and be compassionate to you, and he will turn and gather you from all the peoples among whom Jehovah your God has scattered you. If any of you have been driven out to the ends of heaven, from there will Jehovah your God gather you, and from there will he take you. And Jehovah your God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you will possess it, and he will do good for you and will multiply you more than he did your fathers. And Jehovah your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed, so that you will love Jehovah your God with all your heart and with all your soul, that you may live. And Jehovah your God will put all these oaths upon your enemies and upon them who hate you and who have persecuted you. And you will turn and listen to the voice of Jehovah, and you will do all his commandments, which I am commanding you today. And Jehovah your God will give you an excess of prosperity in all your undertakings, in the fruit of your womb and in the fruit of your animals and in the fruit of your ground, for Jehovah will again exult over you for good as he exulted over your fathers. If you listen to the voice of Jehovah your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes written in this book of the law, if you turn back to Jehovah your God with all your heart and with all your soul. For this commandment which I am commanding you today, it is not too difficult for you, nor is it distant. It is not in heaven that you should say, who will ascend to heaven for us and bring it to us to make us hear it and do it? Nor is it across the sea that you should say, who will go across the sea for us and bring it to us to make us hear it and do it? But the word is very near to you, even in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. See, I have put before you today life and good, and death and evil. If you obey the commandments of Jehovah your God, which I am commanding you today, to love Jehovah your God and walk in his ways and keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, then you will live and multiply, and Jehovah your God will bless you in the land which you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns and you do not listen, but rather you are drawn away in worship to other gods and serve them, I declare to you today that you shall surely perish, your days will not be extended upon the land into which you are crossing over the Jordan to go and possess. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse, therefore choose life that you and your seed may live. In loving Jehovah your God by listening to his voice and holding fast to him, for he is your life and the length of your days, that you may dwell upon the land which Jehovah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them.